3 of these at least a week. I do one on Sunday. It's 9:30 Central Standard Time. So I'm just getting this out of the way. When it comes to this group that I am battling, I just, Geo had to prove me wrong and did all of these mentions to me on YouTube with another clown name just to prove me wrong. It just made me laugh because I have such an effect on all these people and they don't even see it. I feel that I have presented enough that someone with authority, real authority, can go out and investigate this and bring a stop to this. Because I have no authority, and what am I going to do? Perform a citizen's arrest? But this group, their whole background is connected to child trafficking in one way or the other. For good or bad. And both, as far as I'm concerned, can be debated. I just feel that it merits investigation. I believe that what Isaac Cappy was involved with when he was alive, trying to expose, merits investigation. And I definitely think that the shit that I've gone through and tried to expose merits investigation by someone, again, with more authority than me. Because everything I bring to the table is going to be discredited. That's how it works with victims. It's just not me. It's all of them. But this group now is very focused on my house. The primary drive for this group, in my personal experience, is that if they decide that you don't deserve what you have, for whatever reason, if they decide that if they don't like that you have what you have, they'll go out of their way to try and fuck it up for you. If they can't take it, they'll destroy it. This same group, Geo Farnsworth, Daniel Dowd, Tara Joyce, that I'm all fighting, this Sewer Town group, let me remind everyone that in the 2 years that I've dealt with this, I was showing screenshots of all of their shit while they were going all over saying how I didn't deserve disability. At the same time, Social Security tells me that there was a myriad amount of attacks of identity theft regarding my disability account. It's the same group. It's all the same bullshit. And that's what makes this group the way they are. And it needs to all be investigated. Hold on.
Yeah.
And I think in all the shit that I have done, I have given ample proof and ample reason why all of this shit needs to be investigated. It all needs to be investigated. They will laugh at me about these directed energy weapons. But again, I have the NBC News article that says that the Air Force went in front of Congress in 2006 and said they had these weapons and that they were going to use them on American citizens to show the rest of the world they were safe. And it's what causes the Havana syndrome. I'm not the only fucking person they've done this to. The interesting part about it, though, is that I am sure at one point or another, Aquino and his associates have asked themselves more than once how it could be that I am still alive and still doing what I'm doing, and that they haven't made me drop over dead yet. And I say that the answer is heaven. But it goes beyond that. Because heaven is in control of the dark. And I've said that where people who find themselves in the new garden, breathe in joy, what awaits you in the dark is what you've put me through. Day after day. Sometimes hour after hour. But day after day, week after week, year after year. Oh, just over and over and over. It's been awful. And it goes, there's two extremes. One, thinking that they're going to kill you at any point in time. I've thought that I was going to die more than once. Because this shit is torture. Which is the other side where, especially when they're just keeping you up at night, praying to God, please just fucking let him kill me already. And I'm not the only person that they've done this to. I'm not that special. They've done this a lot. It's what causes the Havana syndrome. And they all brag and laugh about it. But the reason why I've been able to go through it the way I have is because it's all getting channeled into the dark. As I've said, I can only give back into the dark that which your group was fucking dumb enough to give me. You think that this whole lack of mercy and all of the stupid, ugly, nasty, irritating shit that you do to me, there's nothing that can happen. And all the while I'm telling you that that was the whole purpose to this game. Was to get you to do it. You know? To get you to do it. Which you guys did. Willingly and eagerly have bound your souls. And in the process bound your souls to the dark. And that's... What do I think about UFO? It's interesting that you say that. Because I've always really stayed out of this debate. But judging where we are now, and the shit these dumbasses have fucked up, I especially would be willing to bet, especially with that CERN toy. If there is intelligent space, if there is intelligent life out there, and they are part of that 3-eye Atlas thing, whatever that's coming, that they think can actually be alien, I think they're coming to help exterminate us. Because we're destructive. And so, no, a parachute is not. It looks like that. It's just a wind chime. But, Aquino and his group have to wonder, and it's all being channeled into the dark. And there's nothing that they can do. And it's funny about the dark, because I've said this story before. But, this was a while back, and like I said, them torturing people with this shit has two effects. One, you think you're gonna die. It's like awful, and then the other part is the wish for death. But I thought I was getting ready to die, and I've said that as a kid in Hummel Park, when they were slaughtering those little boys, they were pledging their souls to me. And I was afraid that I was going to die and be responsible for the bonds to those souls. And I didn't want those souls when I died. And so I think, so I ended up journeying and going into the dark and giving those bonds to, I call him he who dwells within the dark. And I've said this before, the dark had always been for 20 years plus, it had been a place that I just cast all of my anger and rage into. Trained to do what they taught me how to do, but the only place I could do it is into the dark. And so I spent 20 years. The instant that he who dwells within the dark took the bonds to those souls, the dark stopped being a place and became a thing. And I knew it wasn't after me, and it was in my journey, and I was afraid for a minute at the time because it was just so crazy. So I end the journey, and the very next day, this Dutch Sense dude does this video talking about how there's an energy band around the planet that is in such a way that it's an S shape, and it came out of nowhere. And that was the very next day. And why I feel that it had everything to do, that they let that dark in with CERN, is because it was about 6 months later, CERN actually came out with a paper saying that they could definitively say that there was no life after death because they've seen the dark and no one was in that and nothing was in there. CERN actually came out with papers that said that. That was one of the first things, one of the first research papers that came out of CERN. And I find CERN to be interesting because personally in my life, what I'm here to do, I have to honestly say, I way more identify with Kali, which is the statue that is in their little plaza area at CERN, more than I do Jesus Christ. Destruction is coming. Destruction is coming. Death is coming. You know? They actually, it is interesting how it works. But spiritually, what I know is that we are at the ascension. If you have love in your heart and you're obedient to the words, you get to ascend. And that's, you have to have that vibration, that energy vibration that goes with that. Otherwise, you get claimed by the dark. And spiritually, what's about ready to happen is that all of heaven is about ready to turn its complete gaze away from all of this and focus on the new earth, in the new garden. And all of this is going to be in blackness. That was all part of the stuff that I started growing up with these Luciferian child killers. They wanted complete separation from the Father. They've always wanted that. That was part of their little occult thing. Was they wanted complete separation. And they were, you know, all of the kids that they slaughtered in Hummel Park, not all of it was about me. And for me, a lot of it was, but it wasn't all about me. And there was other stuff that was going on. My older siblings had their own shit, their own tales to tell about what they experienced. And for me, with all of this, my dad was involved with fucking killing kids. And I believe that the sins of the Father fall upon the shoulders of the Son. And so I've when I started this, because I've had to do a lot of thinking, when I started this, that is what compelled me, was I had to make this right. And everything that has stood in my way of trying to make the shit that my family did right, I've just had an army of people stand up against me. And it has been intense. Geo Farnsworth, Daniel Dowd, Corey Daniel, all of them, Thomas Schoenberger, all of Thomas Schoenberger's friends. They just, I didn't even know who the fuck they were until they descended upon me when I started talking about Isaac Cappy. Now, Lucian Greaves, Gabe Hoffman, I've had to deal with all of them. I had to deal with Gabe Hoffman when I was having to deal with Craig Sawyer. All of it is government. It's all government. And I don't care who they are, or what color they are, or what they affiliate with, politically, religious-wise, whatever. Fucking child trafficking and pedophilia is wrong, no matter who the fuck you are. I don't give a shit who you are. It's fucking wrong. And so, with that said, it wasn't a leap that heaven answered my prayers. Heaven was more than happy to assist me in bringing these dumbasses down. And I have spent a good chunk of my adult life standing up and making them want to strike me down. And they've tried. Over and over and over, they've tried. Repeatedly, they've tried. Over and over and over. And it's not gonna happen. The darkness is here to claim its fucking own, and they owe the dark. The darkness owns them. Both houses are calling their servants back. Heaven's calling its servants back, and the darkness is calling its. And I don't give a fuck who they are. I want them all to come down. You know? For me as a shaman, the interesting part about it is that the dead aren't dead. That's the thing about as a shaman. When I go to the other side, no one's dead. And there's no way to have secrets on the other side because it's whatever energy it is providing. There's no hiding anything. And this group knows they have a lot of victims. All of these suicide victims that they drove to suicide. I've said that I'm really good at opening doors. And what's happened is that I've connected to people, to their victims, and just simply open the door and ask for their help. Open doors to let them come through. It's the shit that I was trained to do, kinda. It goes down the same realm. It was this... the MK Ultra bullshit that they were teaching me at Offutt Air Force Base, and shamanism and the whole spiritual side, both are two sides of the same coin. They're kind of like each other's yin and yang. That's the reason why shamanism actually helped. And so, no one is peeking over the fence. A 9-foot fence. That's the shit part about it is that it's just been one mess after another. I had to put up a fence to keep people out of my yard, and it still doesn't keep people out of my yard. You know? Even though it's only happened once. And I didn't realize it, so I didn't catch it on the camera. But that episode itself makes me think that, it's interesting how it works, because I believe that they led the dark end with their CERN toy. It was anybody who looks into that, it was a fucking gateway machine. They built a machine to do what they trained us to do as kids mentally. You know. And so it was just interesting how it works. And they're in here trying to create distractions. This group needs to be investigated. What Isaac Cappy was involved with when he was alive needs to be investigated. All of the stuff that I've talked about and the people that I've said are involved at least need to be looked at. It's interesting how every single one of them try to make it all about me. But the whole reason why they're trying to make it all about me, and it's always in a disparaging way, is because they're hoping if they can make it all about me, it will prevent others from actually listening to what I'm saying, and especially those in authority going and freaking investigating. It's not like they're smart, first of all. Second of all, they brag about their shit. So I wouldn't think that it would be that difficult to figure it out. I just wouldn't. And again, I'm not the one who coined the phrase global satanic Nazi pedo ring. That would be the FBI, who actually busted a global satanic Nazi pedo ring a couple of years ago in New York City in September. You know, 2 years ago, about 2 years ago last September. And so I didn't coin the phrase. And if there's one, there could be more. And I assure you, there's at least one more. And it all needs to be investigated by someone with more authority than me. I'm not fucking Nancy Drew. You know? And again, what am I going to do? Do a citizen's arrest? But the shit that I've shown, the stupid shit that they've done, God only knows what you'll find if you start looking into them. You know? Look into me all you want. But then again, look at all the people who have come into my life. Look into Sherilyn. Look into Glenna. Look into Pat Goodwin. Felicity. You know? Shit, there's a long list. It's not like there aren't people. Because they've been focused on me. Aquino has been focused on me. And I was working with Isaac Cappy. He ends up dead by suicide, even though the day before he said he wasn't suicidal. If anything happened to him, he didn't do it to himself. And every time he said it in that Periscope video, you could hear someone in the background herding a dog. I don't have a fucking clue whose dog it was. I don't know if it was Isaac's or Isaac's roommate. I don't know. All I know is that in that Periscope, and everyone fucking heard it. Every time he said he wasn't suicidal, and if something happened to him, he didn't do it to himself, you could hear someone herding a dog in the background. And then the very next day, he ends up dead. Of what? Suicide. And just to make sure, there you can go buy a deluxe 2 CD set of his fucking suicide. You know? Because that's normal. That's normal. And then, 11 months later, they actually blow up that gas station in Erling, Iowa. That was nothing but a domestic terrorist attack. And I knew it because of all the threats that I was getting at the time and everything that surrounded that whole situation. It's not just the fact that the actual official report to that gas station in no way goes with the KETV news report that was done that night. The Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross was on, and the owner, Dan, was on, saying how he got out, then went back in, got his brother-in-law, got him back out. And I was also on that KETV news report. Funny how it works that way, you know? But it let alone all of that. Then you go to the fact that the cop that they were going after me with my dogs ended up killing himself a week and a half before that gas station explosion. There were people at my sister's house across the street from the gas station the Saturday before. And, hey, Block. The Saturday before, who were there, woke my neighbors up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And we had been in COVID lockdown for months. So there were people across the street from that gas station Saturday, and it blew up right away Monday morning. 11 months after Isaac. And had that wall come down where the initial explosion was, all of that debris would have fucking brought my house down. It would have brought my fucking house down. And I didn't even hear the first explosion, like I've said before, because I was in the shower. I just put my head underneath the water. Didn't hear the first explosion. So I would have died naked in the shower. But heaven had other plans. You know? It was as a miracle as it is, nobody died. That was all God. Knocked people down on Main Street, but didn't kill anybody. Not even the two men that were in the gas station when out with the first explosion. That was God. They can't beat the dark that is here to claim them. Because it was the dark that made that energy band that showed up out of nowhere, that made a big S on the fucking planet. That was the dark. They let it in with their CERN tour. And from what I know spiritually, all those red heifers that they sent over to Israel right before we had that eclipse that was 7 years apart that drew an X on the New Madrid in the United States, but it was the second one. And those heifers were going over to Israel, and they were shooting missiles at something, and CERN was getting ready to turn off, and it was all a big thing. They were all doing it with this whole solar eclipse. And personally, what I believe is that they were dumb enough to actually do that abomination of desolation ritual and set themselves above God. I bet they did. I bet they did. It was not very bright at all. And now, the ball is in heaven's court. And they're not going to like what happens. They can't beat, because what I know about Aquino and his group, and I know that Aquino and his group have figured it the fuck out, their spiritual principalities can't help them anymore. They don't offer aid. They don't offer protection. There's no more fallen angels. No more demons. And you can thank Aquino and his friends for that, because when I was a child, I was trained not to fear demons, but to look at them as my brothers. I've said that before. And so I went and found each one of them. I didn't understand why they were allowing themselves to be treated like performing monkeys. With the group who, when push comes to shove, wouldn't honor what the fuck they pledged. And all of those rituals and all of that stuff, the minute it didn't work out for them correctly, they would act in kind. That's what all of this, part of this has been, is showing the fallen through me. Like all the pledges that they made, all the promises that they made, to spiritual principalities they should never have played with in the first place. And then they betrayed that shit. And that's what I've shown. So not only do their spiritual principalities not serve them anymore, but they serve heaven. They don't serve me either. I'm just a servant. I do, pretty much do what I'm told. I'm taking my place. But they can't beat the dark. And they can do and say whatever the fuck it is they do and say. But they better find a way to be able to learn how to fucking live forever. Because if they don't figure out how to live forever, the moment after they have taken their last breath, they're going to get claimed by the dark. And no one who gets claimed by the dark is going to like the dark. The whole environment, you can thank them and their little fucking toys for that. My best day is going to be a daydream to people. And this stuff has been torture. It's been torture. And they've killed people. It causes heart attacks and strokes. The shit causes heart attacks and strokes. It generally ends up killing people. I have survived way longer. Which is funny, because Max Spears said that if you went through these weapons, if you endured these weapons long enough and were able to survive long enough, your body would become adjusted to them. And when I heard about that, I thought that is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. My cholesterol is fine. And, but it's true. It's true. That, you do get kind of adjusted to it. But, and they dance around and laugh. They dance around and laugh. That's the biggest thing that I've been able to document. They broke into my house and stole a laptop I did not even realize was gone until they bragged about it. And then I had to go downstairs and look for it. And sure enough, it's gone. Like I give a fuck. I was pissed off about the bag. Once I started to try and replace that bag, I realized how expensive that bag was, and I was mad about the bag. Fuck, as far as the computer goes, they are on top of me. They scrutinize everything. That's the reason why Gio coming out saying, oh, he's not poor. Fuck. People have scrutinized everything. I live on pittance. I don't eat a whole lot. You know? I don't eat. Like, and what I do eat isn't healthy because it's carbs. Because carbs are cheap. But again, they're focused on he has something we don't think he should have. And I am not the first person they've done this to. They just find other people to do it. Once I'm gone, then they'll just focus on someone else. It's not like it stops. It just continues over and over and over. and over and over and over and over, and goes from person to person to person to person. That's the reason why I say this group needs to be investigated. They need to be investigated, and they work as a group. They work as a group. And so, and I am not the first person they have done this to. I just, for whatever reason, and am able to effectively fight back. Because when it comes down to it, I know that people in the know with authority are investigating. That's what I know. I know that. And would never go into detail as to why, but I would bet good money on it. Again, it's who's watching, not the quantity of people. Never meant to go viral. And a lot of people in town realize those flyers that they hung around town, calling me a pedophile with my address and my picture and all of that. When all that went down, not only did the Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff's Department lose the ability to stop telling people that I was paranoid schizophrenic and that it was all in my mind and that there was no one in town helping them do what I have said that they were doing. Not only did that go out the window, but there are people in town who they've said that to. And now, obviously, that's not true. There are people in town. Someone hung those flyers up all over town. You know? If I believe that I believe deputies of the Sheriff's Department had a lot to do with it because of what I've been told. But, yeah, obviously, whoever the fuck it is, someone's in town hanging shit up. So it's not all in my head anymore. And people are going to wonder why they were lied to. Because, obviously, since I'm not crazy, people need to ask themselves why the police, who have been informed of everything, Neil Gross has been informed of everything for years now. He knows it all. He has gotten all the emails. He's gotten everything. He knows everything. He has seen everything. And now key people of his department for years have seen it. They wanted to get involved, so I got them involved. When it comes down to it, this is a full-time job. I have 4 email lists that I have to go through. And to send out shit, because otherwise it's looked as a mass email. And then I have the stuff that I do with texting, and the stuff I do on Messenger, and the stuff I do on X, and all of the stuff that I send out. And so, I have a lot of examples. Go to my blog, davidshurter.com. You'll see all of it. You'll see all of it. You'll see the flyers. People in town have seen the flyers. The fact, Gio, that you're in here actually with the shit that you're doing here is just, I don't understand why you think that it's effective. You have all of these fake ass accounts, and by your own actions, people have looked at you suspect. By your own actions. By your own actions. You're in here. The reason why I end up blocking you is because what difference does it make, Gio? You're going to come on. Oh, please. Whatever. It all needs to be investigated. Not fucking debated. It doesn't need to be fucking debated at all. And I'm not interested in fucking debating it. I'm not interested in getting together and having these circular arguments that go nowhere. It needs to be fucking investigated. Everything that I'm saying, other things that other people have said, there is no fucking debate. It needs to be investigated.
I have no interest in people who come in with fake ass names and fake ass accounts saying stupid shit. Like yourself. You can look right at yourself. Of course, that takes some introspection. And you guys aren't really big on that. It needs to be investigated by people with way more authority than I do. With way more authority. But it needs to be looked at because I'm sure that it starts to be looked at with people who have the authority and, more importantly, the resources. For 2 years, you guys sought me out. Now I'm just giving you the fucking, you wanted, you know? The reason why I blocked you, the whole thing about it is you guys attack, and then when someone defends themselves, you act like victims. But you're out there making videos of my house blowing up and burning down, and me being lynched and being murdered, and you're passing out fucking flyers because it's your whole group that's involved, hoping that someone shows up at my house and does something fucked up. Who gives a shit who you are? You are part of their group. You're in here doing the same fucking game, so you're obviously connected. And you think actually arguing with your fucking anonymous name and the picture that's mine, and you think that your arguments are valid. You know? It doesn't make any difference. And all of this is government shit. This child trafficking is government shit. Michael Aquino, who's behind at least the beginning of all of this, he's the mastermind of a lot of this. He was government, obviously. Thomas Schoenberger, government, works with the CIA, works for the CIA, makes other CIA agents so scared by the mere mention of his name, they get up and walk out of the interviews. If you watch that Vice interview with that Robert Steele dude. Doug Mesner is working with the CIA. Why does everyone know that? Because Shane Bugbee, the co-founder of the Satanic Temple, came out and said he works with the CIA. He's working with the CIA. The thing about it is that when it comes down to it, is that they're all into child trafficking. And this dude in here, anonymously, wants to actually convince every single person that he's the victim. Don't look at their group. Don't look at anything that I'm saying. Just look at me. I'm the bad guy. They're fine. Nothing to see here at all. But that's not the case. That's not the case at all. Oh, the same people that are connected with Owen, my friend, that they bragged about, they came in and bragged about murdering him. Posted shit on, Geo posted stuff on YouTube, and then Daniel Dowd as Pootie Twang posted things on YouTube, and then sent all the links to me in an email. You know? There's no, I've never been a predator, dude. Never been a predator. To say that I wasn't friends with Owen, Owen is the only reason why I got through that divorce, because it was his car that he loaned me while I was back from Washington to go through all the shit with the divorce. Otherwise, I would have been stuck in that house with no car. It was Owen. That was what really cemented our friendship, is that time. You know? No, he wasn't in my book. I didn't have everyone in my book. What fucking difference does that make? And I wrote that book in 2012. You know? Regardless, it doesn't change the fact, Gio, that you bragged about fucking murdering my friend. You and Daniel Dowd. You bragged about murdering my friend. And now you want to actually act like the victim because I am making you accountable for that. And it doesn't make any difference because Daniel Dowd, who was also connected, who is connected directly to Owen, is also directly connected to Isaac Cappy. because now he was on the bridge and wants to be heralded a hero as a hero. Him and Corey Daniels trying to keep Isaac Cappy from jumping off the fucking bridge. That's the whole thing. And you just run around in circles. And this is the reason why I'm not going to debate these assholes, because this is the shit that I'm talking about right here. It's just, you run around in circles and you go nowhere. You go nowhere. But someone with more resources, I don't need to prove it, dude. I'm not fucking Nancy Drew. Your stupid shit is actually going to get figured out. That's the whole thing. Your shit is getting fucking figured out. This child trafficking thing. Start with Michael Aquino. He's supposedly dead. Obviously, you can investigate him and his associates. I'd probably look at Temple of Set and find out how much all of this was connected to child trafficking and sex crimes against kids, considering that Michael Aquino was not only directly connected to McMartin, but the Presidio. But he was protected by grounds of national security. But his group and his associates probably aren't. They need to be investigated. Below Michael Aquino, I believe personally what I've dealt with is Gabe Hoffman. Then after that, Thomas Schoenberger. After that, it branches off. Sewer Town with Geo Farnsworth and Daniel Dowd and Tara Joyce and DeFango and Jesse Davis and all their little group that they actually are dealing with, because they're all involved. They're what I call the Dead Isaac Cappy Club. They don't want you to focus on anything Isaac was involved with when he was alive. They just want you to focus on the fact that he committed suicide. That's what they want. But there's, again, an awful lot of fucking suicides with this group. And then you have Doug Mesner. Doug Mesner, a.k.a. Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, whose Satanic Temple after school daycare is popping up in all the schools all over the fucking nation. That's how they're targeting the fucking kids. It's through the Satanic Temple and all of his bullshit. And that Emily Thorne, a.k.a. Skills, and that whole group with all of his minions going on. And again, when it comes down to it, it's all directly connected back to Michael Aquino. And Doug Mesner is connected to his own fucking suicide, Lori King. And the whole story about Lori King doesn't make any sense any more than the Earling, Iowa gas station explosion happened. But Doug Mesner, a.k.a. Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, was behind all of that shit. And was the one who was attacking me right before the Earling, Iowa gas station explosion. You know? And so... and was the one who was involved, directly connected to that protection order out in Kent, Washington, in Algona. Obviously, since he was the only one who was involved in all those 15 plus videos. None of those videos did I ever talk about any of the petitioners to that. Only and solely about Doug Mesner. It's all about child trafficking. It's all about child trafficking and them shutting down survivors. That's what it is. It's about them shutting down survivors. And Gio's in here actually doing his stupid shit because he's a simple fucking thug. He does the fucking grunt work. He's the first one that they're going to cut off. They're going to cut loose. The first one. He knows it. So does Daniel Dowd. A lot of them are. They're all starting to actually get a fucking clue. Because the shit is getting ready to come out. And so, dude, I live in a small town. None of my neighbors are freaked out by me. They don't like me. There are neighbors who do not like me, but I don't like people breaking into my house. You know? There was no 1-year-old. There were 2 people connected and not one of them was a 1-year-old. But this is the shit that they will come up with. This is the shit that they will come up with. And again, it's all run around in circles because they have this whole list. Algona there's no 1-year-old. That is all brand spanking new. All developed. all because Gabe Hoffman got involved. And the reason why I figure Gabe Hoffman is the one who's above everyone is because Johnny Dubb, aka Lucian Greaves, and that Chris McKenzie Jones, who's supposedly down in Australia, who are all connected to Thomas Schoenberger, who have spent fucking months fucking after me and harassing me and ridiculing me. It's been like a whole roller coaster of stupid shit. All, oh, just wait till Gabe comes. Oh, just wait till Gabe comes. Oh, just wait till Gabe comes. And now Gabe is involved, and now suddenly there's all kinds of weird, stupid shit. But your side has come up with lie after lie after lie after lie. There was no fucking 1-year-old. There was no 1-year-old on those protection orders. There's no child involved at all. You know? And again, they obviously were directly connected to Doug Mesner, who's all involved with this child trafficking bullshit, which is why you're all in here. You don't have any proof. You know, what you have is manufactured bullshit. You have manufactured bullshit. And you guys are all sitting down manufacturing bullshit while Johnny Dubb, aka Lucian Greaves, is sending pictures laughing about child trafficking and the whole satanic temple shit. The thing about it, Gio, is that what you're afraid of, the reason why you're in here, the reason why you are so obsessed with me and have, fuck, yesterday you posted 5 or 6 things about me over and over and over, is because you are concerned. You are concerned that there are people fucking looking at you, because I think you are involved with so much criminal shit that I think they're gonna just, their heads are gonna reel when they figure it out. Your whole fucking group. Your whole group. And your whole group is involved with fucking child trafficking. You all need to be exposed. You're all a goddamn criminal organization doing all kinds of weird ass criminal shit. And that's why you're in here, because you're busy trying to convince people, no, look at David Shurter, don't look at us, don't look at us. And people are wondering, wow, you really are pretty obsessed with nobody looking at you. I'm saying, look at me. You know? Sherilyn, she was involved with me. Who's she involved with? Glenna, same thing. Pat Goodwin, same thing. You know? The list couldn't go on. You know? And the shit in Harlan, I haven't done shit. And that's the problem with your group. You guys are hiding your crimes, but you have been on top of me and scrutinizing every move I made for fucking decades now. Over a decade. And I haven't done shit. And you can't find shit because there's not anything to find. So you make shit up. Just like I was a felon with a sawed-off shotgun and just blah, 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 blah. You know? When it comes down to it, that couple was involved with Doug Mesner. The shit that I was saying about them, the shit that I was going to the cops about over and over and over was happening. And the reason why it was happening is because those fucking dickheads were connected to Doug Mesner. It was all a setup. It was all a setup. That's the reason why all those videos had nothing to do with anything with them, but only and solely dealt with Doug Mesner, Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple. So if there was not a connection there, how would that be even possible? Obviously, there was a connection there. And they felt compelled enough to actually put all of those videos in. My mod is no more, and I'm letting Geo do whatever he wants to do now. You know? My mod is Sherilyn. Sherilyn was them. They thought they had me because Sherilyn was setting me up. They were going to fucking arrest me and put me in jail. They thought they fucking had me. They did. They thought they fucking had me. That's the reason why I say Sherilyn needs to be looked at, because Sherilyn's connected to them. I know Glenn is connected to them. Glenn had told me she was connected to them. You know? And this dude will tell you everything that I say. Oh, no, 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 no. It's just, it needs to be looked at. It needs to be investigated, because I would be willing to bet that you'll find real investigators. You know, look at me. Here I am, the dude, I'm right here making videos with my name, my face. People fucking know where I live now, thanks to your group. Here I am. Here I've been for fucking years. Here I've been. And so here you are anonymously just trying to stir shit. And all it is you do not want your fucking criminal enterprise to be even considered being investigated. And that's what the whole thing is. Because people have looked into me. Fuck, I know people in town who had their fucking law relatives that worked for the FBI look into me and investigate me. I don't care about being investigated. Go ahead. I'm not the one in here actually doing all this shit and all this weird ass shit and making videos about people's houses burning down and them being lynched and dead in the lynch and all of the weird ass bullshit that I've had to actually deal with. The best thing that I can do to help children, motherfucker, is to take your group down. That's the best fucking thing I can do. And that is my focus. My focus isn't on, I'm not fucking Rambo. I'm not running into homeless camps and saving kids. I'm exposing your fucking group. Your little criminal enterprise. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm exposing all your shit. And you're in here trying to convince everyone not to look at you. Look at me, fine. Everyone does. Fuck, I'm the first person. The fucking whistleblower is the first one they investigate. You know? And yet here you are, Gio, obsessing over me. Here you are, obsessing over me. You have no self-introspection whatsoever. You are one of the dumbest fucks I have ever met in my life. They are. They're gonna look at you, Mr. John Wayne Gacy fan. Clown, dude. They're gonna look at you. And they're gonna look at Daniel Dowd. They're gonna look at all of you. And you're all gonna get brought down together. Because you're just gonna... What you guys all have to hope is that all of the other fucking criminals that you're all connected with hid this shit as well as you did. Because it's only gonna take a little bit for them to find. Your secrets are not going to be that hard to figure out. If there was anything to get on me, dumbass, they would have gotten it on me in Algona. Neil Gross would have gotten it on me in Shelby County. They don't need your drunk ass chef person to actually do it for them anonymously with anonymous accounts. No, never molested my nephews. Never happened. Never happened. And again, you're just using all of that deflection, you know? That's the reason why there's no real debate. There's no real debate. No. And I've been pretty consistent about everything. Again, what you want to do is say that all of this shit doesn't exist. And nobody should look at your criminal enterprise. Don't look at all the dead people that surround your fucking group. Because there's a lot of dead people that surround your group. They're all dead. Too many to statistically be possible. And you all run around as a group. You all run around as a group. You're pretty proud that you run around as a group. And you have a bunch of fucking dead people around you. I don't. The people that I have that are dead are all dead that they link right back to your group, you know? And so when it comes down to it, you can say whatever you want, Gio. Your criminal enterprise with this child trafficking bullshit needs to be fucking investigated. It needs to be investigated. And the fact that this dude is in here trying so hard, everything he can, says way more about them than it does about me. Again, I'm not fucking Nancy Drew. Someone with authority needs to look into this group and stop their shit. Because what they're doing is hurting kids. Flat the fuck out. That's what they're doing. They're hurting kids. And it needs to be fucking investigated.